What's going on, y'all? H-Star here, going to be talking about this story that broke. Now, at first, when it happened, a lot of people, it really just seemed like it was a more positive reception back when Dwyne Wade, he ended up putting out some pictures of his child after his child went through a transition process, and which was met with mostly positive reception. And there must have been some hate that was pushed towards him and his child at that particular time, and he caught wind of it, I'm assuming, and he ended up starting blocking comments off of Instagram. For Zaya's mental health and privacy, we've decided to not allow the hate into her comments. Thank you for wanting to spread and send her love. Which I guess he was responding to this person saying, I hate that I can't comment hearts and cute comments on Zaya Wade's IG post. As a member of her community, the LGBTQ community, I wanted to lift her up too. Which honestly, I have no issue with him wanting to delete certain comments and kind of, comb through and see who's saying what and make sure it's not really something that is being said in a negative light against Zaya and against Dwyne Wade himself. Because at the end of the day, that is his child, and a lot of people have looked at this whole thing as controversial, and Dwyne Wade is controversial, which I don't view him as controversial in the slightest. It's like here on YouTube, if we see a comment that we don't like or we think is disrespectful, we can easily end up snapping it out of existence. So people can't just look at this whole thing like, oh, well, why can't we comment? Or, well, you posted it online, so we should be allowed to post negative comments. Listen, even though people can make a point of, well, he put her out there on the internet, he needs to deal with it. But here's the thing. That don't mean that we should just give leeway to people, saying whatever the fuck and just let it rock. That's not how it works. When it comes to certain things, it shouldn't be criticized. Not everything needs to be criticized. This whole situation between Dwyne Wade and Zaya does not need to be criticized. And it's no different than when you see a couple post or announce that they're officially together or getting married. We shouldn't see no negativity under the comments. And honestly, I think a lot of people need to do that. A lot of celebrities, especially, if they see anybody, saying anything crazy in the comments, and even if they feel like it's criticism, delete that shit too. Because I think that there's some things in life not worth criticizing. This whole situation is one of them. Relationships is one of them. Because people like to criticize shit as if they know these people. And then it will start this whole divide saying that, oh, well, Dawyne Wade's going to go to hell. And, like the religious zealots that think that this is wrong, that it shouldn't happen, that it's not normal. Listen, we're in a different time. What is not normal to you is normal now. So if you don't like something that you see, you ain't got to comment on it. You just scroll past it and just keep scrolling. Or if you really feel that annoyed by it, just block it. Just block it out your life. Because let me ask you something. If you had a 15-year-old son, which would you rather him approach you and tell you that he's a part of or wants to do? That he's a Crip, a Pyru, a GD, a Vice Lord, or he says that he wants to go through a transitional phase. Especially if you know anybody that's been involved with some street shit and you see or hear about the shit that would go on, you would not want your son to take part in that shit. You'd rather have the latter choice, if you ask me. And this really, it falls under the same thing of like, celebrities announcing that they're together now, or people saying that they're getting married, or if it's an interracial couple that is coming out. You should not send hate that way. You should not end up criticizing the relationship. Honestly, I feel like people don't have a right to criticize relationships. I feel like they don't have a right to criticize this whole mess entirely. You want to criticize Dwyne Wade, fine, but keep his kid out of it. Now, if his kid was like 6 or 7 saying that they wanted to go through a transition, like the parent would probably say, all right, the transition you need to go through is cleaning your room. From this room that you're standing in to cleaning your room at 7. But if they reintroduce their conversation at 15 or 18, that's when you need to take it seriously, because they're at a time, at a phase of their life, they're really trying to get to know themselves and really trying to figure shit out. So if you don't agree with what Dawyne Wade is doing, keep that opinion to yourself and keep scrolling. If you want to send hate Zaya's way or Dawyne Wade's way, keep that shit pushing. If you want to criticize relationships, keep that shit pushing. Unless you want to go to your own platform and do it. If you got an Instagram page, why don't you just criticize it on your own platform or YouTube channel, whatever the fuck? And honestly, it kind of makes me think that, or wish that Twitter had this same type of feature that Instagram does, where you can delete replies, delete comments. It would come in so clutch, especially when somebody's saying some dumbass shit. I think the ideal way to do it is if you delete somebody's comment on Twitter, they are not allowed or should not be allowed to respond back. Now, people could look at that like, oh, that's censorship. No, it's not censorship. If you say dumbass shit to somebody, you're going to get that comment deleted. You can't just say, well, if you didn't post it, then nobody would be sending hate or nobody would be, criticizing it. But here's the thing. We should not just live in a box where we should post certain things to avoid criticism. Now I can understand if you put a clip out there, if yourself giving a commentary on whatever it is, if you're putting a video out there and you're giving a commentary opinion on whatever the subject matter is, like this topic right here, then I think that's a case where it could be open to criticism. Like I could be open to criticism and I ain't gonna, really care if somebody disagrees with me generally. I'm gonna let that comment rock. But if somebody says something crazy, they up out of here. At the end of the day, if you people got a problem with what Dawyne Wade is doing, keep that opinion to yourself. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Till next time, it's H Dog here and I'm out. Peace.